While my husband greets the crew, I check my equipment, trying to pop open the battery pack of my mud-caked headlamp. Dirt left its mark on my yellow t-shirt. Laughing to myself, I manage to stay clean for all of 5 minutes. After shrugging into a horrific knee on green vest with more stripes, I grab my pink hard hat and begin to walk towards the closed-off lane, turning my lamp on as I go. We are installing loops instead of cameras to run the intersection signal. A favorite part of the night is when I switch out the vacuum hose for the air compressor to dry off all the excess water. Just packing up the vacuum hoses into the back of the truck and grabbing a hot air wand is when the night is on the downward side. I love drying loops because you get to work alone for a few minutes. There's no need to work in tandem with someone vacuuming or blasting the asphalt and concrete bits in every direction from the pressure washer. No tripping over hoses or slipping in the slurry. Although the compressor is raging, the saw cutter is shutting down his roar. You can hear a new calmness in the air. Pressure from the air wand is blowing water from each circle. I lead the pace for the remainder of the night. The faster that I finish drying each loop, the quicker we move to the home run. If you start with the saw cutter, that vacuum team falls back to break out the spools of wire, laying them into the dry cuts, filling each circle with 4 rounds of wire, twisting 6 pairs of wires into the home run. 2 more steps. Reseal the cracks with tar and clean up the spider webs, the little hair-like strands of tar that cooled off before it was able to land in one of the cuts. It always fell to the person at the end of the leapfrog of workstations, which usually was me when I was done drying the loops. I enjoyed the solace of being alone and hearing my thoughts. The remainder of the crew was laying wire or tarring. This night things were going along in a steady hum. Everyone was on the same wavelength, working in this mishmash dance that looked like it had been choreographed for a movie. Feeling so blessed, I took a second to be thankful. The calm night air was clear. It felt as you could just grab a star. The fair wind that whispered by occasionally was a welcoming delight. The moon illuminated the roadway. It was easy to see vacuum hoses crisscrossed, water hoses laying claim to evict the saw gutter slurry. Hour after hour passed before the glorious sound of silence. Each piece of the machinery is shut away. The crew finally gets a chance to just stand around and bullshit as we wait for the tar to cool off. Many people think it's for nothing, but we can't leave until the tar is cool. Otherwise, it will attach to a car tire and rip everything out of the newly cut roadway. I didn't feel like standing around and talking. I decided to clean up any miscellaneous spider webs. Spider webs are a pain to pick up. Either they are still too hot or just hot enough to stretch like a rubber band. Thwap! The sting of the snapback on the fingertip hurts like hell, but walking around the loop is an excellent way to try and cool off from pushing yourself. We're in no hurry. Traffic control hasn't set up the new guards yet. I can hear the guys talking about their idea of how to complete the next set of loops. I surveyed the flow of traffic while kneeling on one knee. I began to peel strands of the spiderweb from the spiderweb we had made of the road. The moonlight seems to have hidden behind a cloud as it became just a bit darker. Within that same fraction of a second, I looked to my left. I started screaming. Blinding lights, tires screeching, mixed with the simultaneous scream of "No! Stop!" The whistle of the officer in the intersection directing traffic. The word "woman!" A gutted roar from my husband. My pink hard hat smashes to the ground. No time to move. No time to run. I didn't dare blink. My mind was stuck in a loop of its own, repeating, "I don't want to die here in the middle of the road." Breaking the spell, the car finally came to a rest. I found myself face to face with headlights, 3 mere inches from the front bumper. 3 fucking inches separated me from possible death. Bewildered, how could he not see me? I was lit up like a traffic flare. Why the hell was he driving inside an area lined by orange dominoes? I sat there chain smoking for what seemed like hours. Meanwhile, the cop wrote the man a lousy $140 ticket and let him go. Is that what my life meant out here? Stopping 3 inches from me? A whopping fine to ensure you will not do that again? My husband and coworkers coddle me as I try to process the so-called near miss, which aggravated me even more. How could I process what happened when everyone was in my space? I needed to breathe and figure out why I was beyond angry. Was I mad due to being scared? Was I mad that he didn't care enough to pay attention? Was I scared because I thought I would die while my husband had to watch it all play out? The whole situation brought reality home. I knew that I was done. Not because I was afraid to do the job again. I loved it. This wasn't the way I wanted to leave my mark on the world. I had not pursued my dream to become a published writer, so I applied for college admission 4 hours later.